This is 101 week 7 part 2, but again, my other students, it's a valuable thing for all my students to have. Let's talk a little bit more about plagiarism and what it does and how it works. And I'm gonna say some shit now that I don't know if I should say this, but I'm gonna say it on video because I can't get in trouble. I got tenure. I'm a full professor. So here's the thing about plagiarism you got to understand. A lot of my students, you can tell that I like teaching. I love teaching. I hate not being in a physical classroom. It makes me crazy that I'm here. I love teaching. I love my students. Professors are hired to do three things. They sort of run the school in different ways behind, like in committee work, and they teach students, and they also write books like scholarship and things. So they teach students and they write books for other professors. That's for research and scholarship. So that's the three things we do. If you've noticed, your teachers at school, in my view, there tend to be two kinds of teachers. There are teachers who really want to be scholars and write books for other professors. That's what they want to do with their lives. And they put up with students. Like, they don't really like teaching, but that's part of the job, so they do that part. But what they really want to do is be left alone to write books. I am the other kind of teacher. I love teaching, I love students, and I do not want to be left alone to write a book. I hate writing books. It's one of the ironies of my life that I teach composition, but don't actually like it. Like doing it myself. I don't really want to write an essay. I'd rather talk to people in the classroom than write an essay. But a lot of your professors would rather write an essay than talk to students in the classroom. I'm sure you've noticed some of them seem like they're not very happy to be there. That's part of what's happening there. There's also a third kind of professor that wants to run things in committee work, and those kind of professors tend to become the bosses in the suits and ties, the admin people, like deans and provosts and these kinds of things. That's a rarer thing, but it does happen. So anyway, it's an important thing to keep in mind, and I say this because plagiarism factors into this in a really important way. Here's the thing about plagiarism. A lot of your professors get paid the same regardless of how many students are in the class. So if the professor has, let's say the class has 25, let's say the class has 30 students in it, right? I got to grade papers for all the students. And like in this class, classes may have 2 papers, 3 papers, 4 papers, a lot of work. If I can get students to drop out of the class, though, then I have less students, less papers to grade, less work to do, and I get paid the same. Now, I don't do that. I don't drive students into the class because I'm an egomaniac. So the more people in the classroom, the happier I am. I want lots of students in the classroom because I want lots of people to listen to my bullshit. I like to talk, as you've probably noticed. I realize some of your other professors on these online courses, I've noticed, I'm learning about online teaching because I've never done it before, and it's not my favorite. But a lot of them link to other people talking, right? So they're like, watch this video from this professor at this other college. If you've probably noticed, I don't do that. I'm like, no, listen to me. I got shit to say. Anyway. So the point is that some of your professors don't like students. I'm sure you've noticed this. They would rather students left them alone. They want to do other kinds of things, researchy kind of scholarship things. And some of them have other shit going on in their lives. There's all kinds of reasons why professors are there's too many classes and too many students, and fine. But one of the things that happens with plagiarism is that if you plagiarize a paper, what does this happen? I know it seems like we've gotten way off topic, but we're not. One of the things that happens when you plagiarize a paper is you are giving professors that don't like students a chance to throw you out of class. Don't give them that chance. Don't plagiarize, because, like, if you plagiarize for me, I will give you a 0 on your assignment. But I will help, if you're interested, I will help you to do a second draft so that you can eventually pass the class. Some of your professors will not do that. They will start reporting you to administration, and they will drive you out of class, basically, because they don't want to teach so many people. They don't want so many students bothering them. And when you plagiarize, it's like giving them the bullet to put in the gun. You know what I mean? So don't do it. It's one of the ways people have problems in school is they're stressed, they plagiarize, they get caught, and the professor might be very unforgiving. And who are you going to complain to? You plagiarized. And so so if you were to say, this professor's being mean to me, he's kicking me out of class, the professor's going to be, that kid plagiarized. You're not going to get a lot of sympathy. So don't do that. That's another reason not to plagiarize. There is a third, and I think there's more reasons not to plagiarize. Let's talk about some other reasons not to plagiarize. It's complicated. A lot of the plagiarism stuff, when people talk about plagiarism, what they really want to say is that, like, it's all, if you plagiarize, here's all the bad things that will happen to you, meaning the consequences will be bad if you get caught, right? That's usually what teachers do here, is they talk about, if you plagiarize, bad things will happen to you, when you'll be caught and punished like a criminal or whatever. But plagiarism is, how do I put this? Plagiarism, the crime is the punishment. See, if you steal something and you don't get punished, then you got a benefit, but no negative, right? And that's why we try to punish thieves, for example, just say, because we don't want people to get free shit that they stole that belonged to other people. Because if there's no punishment for thievery, the concern is that people will just keep stealing other people's stuff, and there's no punishment. What are they going to do about it, right? But plagiarism is a little bit different. Plagiarism is similar. People go, oh, it's like thievery. It's like they stole something. It's more like copying, but people will be like, oh, it's a kind of crime, and so we have to punish plagiarists just the same way we would do thieves, so that they won't do it again in the future. If the punishments are harsh enough, then students won't plagiarize in the future. Just like if the punishment for thievery is harsh enough, people will not steal, is the idea. But plagiarism is different from stealing candy from the store. It's a different kind of thing. Because the moment you plagiarize, you've already punished yourself. Why? Because what happens with students is the teachers go, don't plagiarize. If you plagiarize, if you get caught, terrible things are going to happen to you. You get a 0 in the assignment, get a 0 in the class, get kicked out of school, blah, 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 blah. But that doesn't, in my experience, this doesn't help students to not plagiarize, because what students do is in their minds, they go, well, I'm just not going to get caught. That's what people think. Like, people that smoke cigarettes, and people like, you can get lung cancer, but not everybody gets lung cancer from smoking cigarettes. So students go, that's going to be me, and so they smoke. Or people will be like, you're probably not going to win the lottery, and students go, well, you might, so they play. So students try to make themselves feel better because they're like, I'm not going to get caught. But here's the thing. Even if you don't get caught plagiarizing, you've still screwed yourself, even if you get away with it. And I would actually argue that getting away with plagiarism, if you don't get caught, it's actually worse than if you do get caught. Because if you do get caught, I mean, well, it depends what happens. I will give you another chance to work on the essay, and some of your teachers might be mad and throw you out, I don't know. But if you don't get caught, it's actually worse. And the more you plagiarize, and the more you don't get caught, the worse it is for you. Why? Because what you're doing when you plagiarize is you are pretending to have learned something that you didn't learn. And then you graduate. And let's say you plagiarize in my class, and you plagiarize your essays, and then you pass the class. Maybe you didn't do very well on the paper 4, because paper 4 is very difficult to plagiarize on, because it's we'll talk about that later. But the point is that, let's say you passed the class, but you plagiarized. Well, the problem is that that means that you have successfully completed composition, right? But you don't know how to write. But let's say you got a B+ in the class that you plagiarized. Well, you don't know how to write. What are the chances that you're going to go back and learn later, that you're going to take the class again, even though you passed? You're not going to do that. Why would you do that? You have a passing grade. But here's the thing. You have a passing grade, but you don't know how to do the thing. Now, I think a lot of you are gambling that you're not going to need the thing. So you're like, I'm going to cheat through math class. I'll never need math. I'm going to cheat through history class. I'll never need history. I'm going to cheat through writing. I'm never going to need writing. Maybe because you want to do something else, like be a computer programmer or something. I don't know, whatever. Maybe you want to do something that's not related to the class you're taking, right? So you think, I'm going to cheat my way through math, and then I'm never going to use math in my life. It's a gamble. The problem is that gamble often doesn't work, and later in life, things change, and you may need the skills, and then it turns out you don't have them, and it's not too late to get them, but the chances of you going to get them later on, you've got a B+ in composition, but you never learned how to write an essay, what are the chances that you're going to learn how to write an essay? They're real fucking low, which means you're going to be frustrated and angry, and you're not going to have this skill, and you kind of need this skill. All right, I'll pick it up in the next video.